Hello aspirants, welcome to our channel DISC Civil Services in Detail, guiding aspirants to become officers. Please do like, share and subscribe and do follow for more updates. We will be uploading the highly important current affairs as well as the high probable topics for the upcoming competitive exams. So the aspirants who are preparing for UPSC, APPSC and TGPSC, please do attend regularly and maintain a current affairs notes. List out all the important inputs and synopsis we are providing in these sessions. It's also helpful for the aspirants who are preparing other competitive exams at the central and the state level like IB, CDS, NDA, SSC, CGL, even the bank POs. So attend continuously and maintain that consistency. Let's begin our session. India Mauritius International Relations. As PM Modi is in Mauritius for attending the National Day celebrations of Mauritius, that is from March 11 to 12, which is also the event significantly mentioning the Dundee Salt March started by Mahatma Gandhiji. He clearly mentioned in this visit, it is more than a diplomatic relations and it is very personal to me as Mauritius is the mini India. In this article, we will be discussing a clear-cut picture of the historical evolution to present diplomatic relations of 2025, and we will be also covering all the important events happened and list of the decisions they taken. For now, they have signed 8 MOUs, which is focusing on mutual trust, values, vision, especially for trade, defense, and energy. Why this particular island nation is very much important for India, as this is the FDI hub. We will be discussing all these 360 degrees approach and multi-dimensional approach of these bilateral relations. So he visiting, as I already mentioned, from March 11 to 12 as a chief guest, where he is sharing the culture, traditions and values. He will be discussing the other important initiatives too, which is focusing on building strong strategic relations and focusing on the maritime security and building cooperation among the defense and space technologies too, as they are also focusing on artificial intelligence and health. We can see that he arrived with lots of gifts, among them Mahakumbh Gangajal, Banarasi Sari and Bihar's Makhna are the one which he presented to the First Lady of the nation. And in this article, in this particular visit, he also mentioned about Girmitias, who are the people of the agreement. In the British language, it's called agreement. So agreement became Girmitia. So Girmitias are the one Indian indentured labored who fled during colonial period and they settled there, and that is why Mauritius have 70% of population who have their roots in India. So in this particular session we will be discussing complete historical background, historical evolution, diplomatic relations as well as shared cultures and other important perspectives. Even we will be discussing about Mauritius too, and especially how it is important for Indian Ocean region and other international bilateral relations. And one more important news from this particular visit, our Honorable PM got the highest civilian award from Mauritius, and he is the first Indian who received this and fifth foreigner who received this highest civilian award. So far, our Honorable PM has received 21 international awards, which is a huge proud moment for the whole nation. And this might be he is the only one who achieved this. It is showing the global footprint under Modi's leadership, how India is expanding its foreign policy. This is how you have to think when you are writing such a prestigious exam. Instead of only thinking about India Mauritius relations and the facts and the data, you should give an analytical approach too. For now, we will be discussing all the important crux and all the important decisions and all the important events. As I already mentioned, Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam is the initiatives which is recently launched to give importance especially in the conservation of the environment, which is they are treating the mother earth is equal to our motherland earth are equally important. This is what motto of our Honorable PM, and this is the theme they started to preserve the nature as well as the conservation as well as the preserve the traditions and values of the motherland India. So they planted few trees under the Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, and also he, as I already mentioned, he gifted Makhna and Mahakumbh Jal, that is Ganga Jal from India, which we recently seen the such a huge event which they celebrated, which shown unity in diversity. It was like global event. So he gifted them Mahakumbh Jal. And coming to second phase of community development projects, he is worth 500 million Mauritian rupees will be started new projects. Among them, construction of new parliament building for Mauritius is one among that important initiative they have taken. We will be seeing the historical relations and evolution of these two nations relations, how they emerged, how they deepened the cooperation, how they promoted the growth, how they supported each other since 1800s to till 2025. And 500 civil servants from Mauritius will be trained in India in next 5 years, and we also giving them support in FDIs as well as focusing on UPIs, and we also focusing on digital economy and technology for building them strong in these perspectives. Especially they need our support in the digital evolution, as well as they also having the strong command over the naval connectivity. We given a series of support system during the COVID and during the event which was like Chagos Archipelago. Indian supported Mauritius claims, and also during Agalega Islands event we have supported them. Even in the cyclone Chido, we supported them and we extended our hand. So they will be discussing about mutual trade in local currency too. And there are no limits for the hope as the aspirations for the partnership is more, and now they are focusing on improved trade and enhanced strategic partnership. This is the new logo they are focusing. And coming to Mahasagar and Sagar is the initiatives which they started recently, and it has enhanced into the Mahasagar. We will be discussing that too. And I already mentioned Girmitia. This topic might have high chances of appearing in your prelims in upcoming exams. They may question may come like, who are the Girmitias, or what about the Girmitias who are in recent news. So you should definitely understand there are the Indian indentured labor who fled to Britain during the colonial period, especially to work in the plantations. So Government of India is working to create a database for this community and to study their legacy and organize the World Girmitia Conference from time to time. It's like bringing them back to their home. They have struggled a lot. They have survived all the struggles. And now nearly 70% of Mauritius population is having roots back to India. So this is what the importance we are trying to bring on the global platform. And they are also talking about Mahasagar, which is mutual holistic advancement for security and growth across nation. This is the upgraded version of Sagar. We will be discussing that too. Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region, which was started in 2025. Today Mauritius is still at the heart of the vision, and it became Mahasagar now. And this is the vision for global south as well as Indian Ocean region, and especially the global south region. And this island nation is very much important and very nearest neighbor of the India. I will be discussing about these locations too. So these are the few important points for now. First, for an exam point of view, you should definitely know, okay, location of Mauritius. Here you can see it is an island nation, and these are the other islands, neighbor islands: Agalega Island, Assumption Island, Madagascar, Digo, Maldives, Seychelles, Arabian Sea. And these are the Indian listening posts. So coming back, here you can see Mauritius. These are the Amber Island, East Island, Surf Island, and Mahabog. And these are the Benitez Island. This is Mount Piton. You may get a question. Where does the Mount Piton has located? What is the Mount Piton has been recently in news. in which nation it has been located, kind of you may definitely get a question. Or may they ask you to arrange the islands from north to south direction: round island, flat island, amber island, east island, and surf island. So 1, 2, 3, 4, they may give a chronology and ask you to arrange them in north to south direction. This is how UPSC frames questions. You should definitely have strong command over atlas perspective. For coming back to this particular article, there are lots of important inputs we are going to discuss. For now, they have signed 8 MOUs and they are focusing on artificial intelligence, health, trade, energy, and space technology collaborations. We have strong relations since 1988. This is the second visit of Modi, as I already mentioned, and we have strong bilateral relations with them rooted. So, from exam point of view, we will be discussing why Mauritius is important to India. This is the first question. What is the significance of Mauritius? Whether it's a geographical location or whether it's trade perspective. What are the common interests and what are the challenges ahead to tackle? In these challenges, first most important point which you should keep in your mind, that is Chinese influence. Growing Chinese influence on Mauritius trade. And even the FDIs and double taxation is the one. Double Taxation Avoidance Act is the one challenge which we are facing with Mauritius now. So we will be seeing the economic ties, cultural ties, people to people connectivity, as well as trade, technology, security, maritime, economy, as well as technology based on the recent observations, space, digital economy and cyber security, as well as renewable energy and climatic change. We will be covering these perspectives. So coming back, he is there for the 2-day visit, as I already mentioned, from 11th to 12th of March 2025. And they will be having few bilateral meetings which will be focusing on history, language, culture, heritage, kinship, and other values. They are also focusing on people to people connectivity and cultural exchanges to strengthen last several decades, which have been strengthened since last several decades, and which will be improving as comprehensive strategic partnership. Especially these two countries is getting benefited by supporting each other, especially in the Indian Ocean region. So they are focusing on socio-economic development since independence, and now it is time to give commitment for further building this bilateral partnership for the future developments. As I already mentioned, he was 2015 started Sagar and recollecting those visits and other important perspective. Now it is focusing on crucial partnership, as India is already always focuses on neighborhood first policy approach, neighborhood first approach, and its commitments to global south. It underlining the important role played by Mauritius in advancing these policies for common benefit of both the nations. And they are focusing on building strength, uniqueness of bilateral ties, as well as transforming into the enhanced strategic relationship and partnership. This is the key word you should definitely understand. I hope you should always know what are the common challenges, common interest, and what are the common groupings if there is any international event is happening. So for now, this is the important point, that yes, noting that the participation of Mauritius as a chief guest country under India's G20 presidency has deepened their engagement and their commitment, and they continued this. And welcoming ongoing discussions, both the leaders are agreeing to strengthen the cooperations, especially between the parliamentarians. So two leaders coming up with few projects, and we already have helped them, supported them in the high profile infrastructure development projects like India-Mauritius Metro Express project, new Supreme Court building, new ENT hospital, 956 social housing units, and educational tablets, among others. And we will be always ready to support them first forward. It's like first hand supporter and supporter or responder among the nations. During the recent cyclone Chido for the Martian people in Agaliga, we came up with a lots of humanitarian assistance in the aftermath. You may get a question. We have seen a cyclone Chido in news, or where was the location where you seen cyclone Chido? So this kind of you have to prepare for the facts perspective along with the analysis. As I already mentioned, India is the first responder for any nation, and for its neighbors, it's always the first. True. Few other perspectives where they're focusing on India's assisted people centric development, and they're also coming up with few infrastructure projects such as renal transplant unit, forensic science laboratory, national archives. If you may get a question on discussion about India Mauritius relations, how they can be strengthened and what they have achieved till now and what can be done to further improve or deepen the relationship, you should definitely quote all these facts along with the analysis. That's why I added these points, as these are very much important. So they are working for timely delivery of 100 electric buses. This is the one. And phase 2 of high impact community development for projects are the one. 100 kilometers water pipeline in Mauritius is in first year INR denominated line of credit agreement. This is in the one. And new parliament building is the one more project which we are taking care of. And finally, the discussion on de-development of Ganga Talao, where we have seen our PM Modi performing Ganga Harti in this particular visit. They are also working for this. And for new areas of development cooperation as per the needs and priorities, they will be working. So coming to HRD and capacity building, they're focusing on, as I already mentioned, sending 500 civil services. So creating institutional linkages between civil service colleges, forensic science laboratory, national archives and library relevant premier institutes in India. As I already mentioned, 500 civil servants of Mauritius through the National Center for Good Governance in India over a period of 5 years will be getting proper training. And this is the support we have extended to them. Coming to space and technology, for the first time we have supported them and given them, helped them in the space collaborations and exploring and giving the launches. For the two leaders, it is very much important to deepen the cooperation, especially in the space domain. So they agreed to work closely towards successful development and launch of India-Mauritius satellite, including requisite training for Martian scientists. As well as they are also coming forward to support and implement weather and climate forecasting system at different temporal scales of Mauritius. To renew the ongoing cooperation between ISRO and Mauritius Research and Innovation Council, ISRO Telemetry and Tracking Center in Mauritius. They are exploring new avenues of cooperation. Also, they are focusing on utilizing Earth observation application and interactive computing framework to enable Mauritius to monitor extreme weather events, especially to study the climate impact so that they can avoid the disasters like Cyclone Chido. As the Ministry of Earth Sciences, ISRO, under the umbrella of QUAD, this will be carried out. So coming to health and education cooperation, as we already mentioned, we are the first responder. We supported them a lot in COVID pandemic. We given COVID shields and vaccines, and these are the few inputs we have added. And also underline the importance of cooperation in Ayush, as I already mentioned. Prime Minister of Mauritius thanked PM for the facilities extended by India to Martian patients undergoing treatment in India. As well as they are also working for the setting up of an Ayush Center for Excellence in Mauritius. And coming to economic trade and cooperation, we should definitely know about the important imports and important exports like petroleum, semi-precious stones, coal, cotton are few among them. So acknowledging comprehensive economic cooperation and partnership agreement which we have signed with that nation is first ever trade agreement with the country in African region, and now they are focusing on African continental free trade area too. The Prime Minister of Mauritius underlined the need for Indian companies and business to see Mauritius as a gateway to India's engagement with Africa. Of course, Mauritius is a gateway to Africa. This is a major point which we are focusing, as well as is the first important island neighbor, and it has the very strategic importance in the global south and Indian Pacific region. So they are focusing on settling and facilitating trade settlements through local currencies, especially Indian rupee and Mauritian rupee. And they are also focusing on protocols amendment of double taxation avoidance agreement at the earliest to harmonize with international standards, because it is important to treaty abuse, to maintain that treaty properly, to avoid that treaty abuse. And after ongoing discussions are concluded, once they done it, they will promote investment in sunrise sectors such as ocean economy, pharmaceuticals, IT, infotech, among others. And few digital cooperation, as I already mentioned, digital economy, cyber security, FDIs and UPIs are the one. So support and implementation of e-judiciary system, digitalization of archives and records of Mahatma Gandhi Institute is the one. As I already mentioned, Mahatma Gandhi visited Mauritius in 1901. That is where we are talking about roots of Indian people in Mauritius. And strengthening the cooperation in the field of ICT, including cyber security, digital public infrastructure, capacity building for the same. And PM Gati Shakti digital platform is the one which is going to help them and implement. And coming to defense and maritime, we have strong ties with the Mauritius Maritime Security, which is focusing on a strong strategic relationship, especially for the strategic dimension, and benefiting both countries immensely to get avoid such kind of few unfortunate events like cyclones, piracy, and events related to trafficking, etc. So they are working conducting joint maritime surveillance, hydrographic surveys, patrolling and bilateral exercises, which is giving information and sharing and training support system to each other. As well as they are also focusing for importance, understanding the importance of India's Vision Saga, which will be giving a complete special maritime support system partnership to the Mauritius. It's like giving an assistance. As well as they are focusing on few other perspectives too. As I already mentioned, these are lots more important inputs added in this particular article. You can see this from cultural and people to people tie-ups too. And these are the few important points which have added for your clarity and understanding. As he was guest of honor at the National Day celebration marking 57th anniversary of India's independence and 33rd anniversary of Republic of Mauritius. So these kind of facts are very much important when you are preparing for such a prestigious exam. And also I will be adding few other perspectives too, where they are focusing on these diplomatic relations has been started in 1948. So 1948 to 2025, we should definitely understand the evolution. And also it is the one which got independence after India from Britain, that is in 1968. So you should definitely understand from different perspective, like what are the infrastructural developments like Mahatma Gandhi Institute, Indian Cultural Center, Metro Express, social housing scheme, new parliament building, and what are the humanitarian extent we have given, like Chagos archipelago was in when was in they were in controversy. India supported Mauritius for its climb, and when Agolago Islands were in news, we have developed and supported them for the air and naval connectivity. So other than this, you should definitely know. Yes, from 2021, from 2022. So what are the list of events happened in the last 4 years? If you give the recent observations too from the historical perspective, along with the historical perspective, examiner will feel yes, she has a strong command over the concept. So it is about comprehensive economic cooperation and partnership agreement, and this is first satellite launched with the help of ISRO, and this is first digital partnership especially in the cyber security and fintech, and this is the one where they focused on developing blue economy, and they signed cooperation in the blue economy as well as amendment in the DTA, Double Taxation Avoidance Act. So Colombo Security Conclave is the one where they are working as a joint, as I already mentioned. It plays a strong key role in the Indian Ocean region. So Colombo Security Conclave consists of India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Bangladesh. So I have added two questions from mains perspective giving a crux of this particular article, and you should definitely prepare at least 400 words from your current affairs and from static part 2, and try to sum up that 400 words into extraordinary 250 words answer. Whenever you are writing any answer, the few points which you should keep in mind. For example, this question is about examine the historical, cultural, strategic factors that have shaped the enduring relationship between India and Mauritius. How can it further deepen long-standing ties and promote mutual growth? Here you should definitely give the 360 degrees approach which we discussed now, that is from historical background to present diplomacy, and how beautifully you are writing it with the relevant examples is what matters. And second question again similarly we have framed, that is India and Mauritius share deep historical, cultural and economic ties in the context of the Indian Prime Minister's 2025 visit to Mauritius. Examine its trade and significance in strengthening bilateral relations with a special emphasis on trade and security in the region. So for this you should definitely frame a format. So first thing you should keep in mind, your mains answers should always reach and understand the demand of the question. So what the question is demanding, what are the points we have to answer. So your answer should be very apt. Add the inputs, synopsis, facts, data which you have studied from your notes, and it is questioning particularly about recent 2025 visits. So you should definitely give a complete 360-degree multi-dimensional approach for this answer. Along with, you should definitely start all the relations and all the perspectives. For this it definitely comes economical, cultural, social, digital and other perspectives, where you will be starting from historical to present. And in this particular article you will be definitely drawing Indian Ocean region and if possible rough graph of Mauritius map for making that understand, yes, how it is connected and improving and how it is really important for Indian Ocean region. So drawing map gives extra 1 mark which is very much important, and from there you will be trying to give a complete picture in global perspective, how these relations will be helping both the nations and how these initiatives will be helping them to move forward, as what are the other common challenges like Chinese influences, DTAA, and other few perspectives. What are the common interests? Yes, they are working strong, building strategic relations in the perspectives of international solar alliance, space technology, energy, education, humanitarian aid, even in the Ayurveda, health, that is health and artificial intelligence. So you will be discussing that too. And finally, you will be giving a way forward for this answer with a positive approach, and give a positive approach or your version as a bureaucrat. Give an answer if you become a bureaucrat, if you are handling or working under Ministry of External Affairs, what will your inputs and suggestions for improving these relations? That should be your approach. And finally, ninth most important, conclude the answer with the most impactful observation or statement or the event happened in this particular visit. This is how you have to frame the answer and give the wonderful answer, which will be definitely helping you to get more than 50% of score. Done. You will be in the top list. That's it. As simple as that. सो अभी तक मैंने जो कुछ भी बताया है, ऑल दीज आर लाइक हाईली इंपॉर्टेंट एज आई ऑलरेडी मेंशनड. Indian Ocean Indian Ocean Rim Association, Colombo Security Conclave, which I mentioned, Global Biofuels Alliance, International Solar Alliance, Coalition for Disaster Resilience, infrastructures. All these are very much important, and you should definitely know what are the other engagements and what are the other global leaders are dealing with Mauritius and how it is going. सो एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में जो भी ज़रूरत है मैंने बता दिया है, एंड 2025 विजिट का हाईलाइट्स जो भी है वो भी मैंने बता दिया है. फॉर यू नाउ अंडरस्टैंड हाउ दिस पर्टिकुलर आर्टिकल इज़ वेरी मच इम्पोर्टेंट. मैप भी मैंने ऐड करके आपको लोकेशन के वाइज स्ट्रैटेजिक इंपॉर्टेंस बता दिया है, सिग्निफिकेंस भी बता दिया है. फॉर नाउ यू शुड डेफिनेटली अंडरस्टैंड ओके हाईलाइट्स ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर विजिट. हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा बहुत ज़रूरी है, उसको भी थोड़ा देख लीजिए. और अभी डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस कैसे दे आर गोइंग टू इम्प्रूव, वो थोड़ा एक बार देख लीजिए. एंड इनका फ्यूचर पर्सपेक्टिव्स एंड फ्यूचर प्लान्स क्या है, जैसे कि 2030 का कुछ है हमें रिलेशंस इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, ऐसे इंडिया मॉरिशस का फ्यूचर प्लान्स क्या है. एंड फाइनली द ऑब्जर्वेशंस, फैक्ट्स एंड डेटास एंड रेलिवेंट पॉइंट्स विच यू हैव understood or learned from this particular article, make a note in your current affair notes and try to revise them as many times as possible. So महात्मा गांधी जी के पर्सपेक्टिव में, गिरमिटियस की पर्सपेक्टिव में, एज वेल एज मोदी जी के ऑब्जर्वेशंस के पर्सपेक्टिव में, कल्चरल टाइप्स में एंड सिटीजनशिप्स रिलेटेड एक्ट पर्सपेक्टिव में, स्पेस सागर इनिशिएटिव्स के पर्सपेक्टिव में, स्पेशली आइलैंड नेशन है तो ट्रेड हमारे लिए कैसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, और मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी के लिए, मैरीटाइम कोऑपरेशन के लिए कैसे कर रहे हैं, एंड व्हाट वी आर डूइंग फॉर द डीप एंड डिफेंस कोऑपरेशन टू. ये सब एक बार देख लीजिए एंड मेक ए नोट. एंड वेन एवर यू नीड एनी सपोर्ट और help, please drop a message. We will be here to support you to make you reach your dream job. And yes, do follow consistently. And this is all about this particular article. I hope I have covered almost all the important points from exam perspective. And whenever you need any kind of assistance or guidance, please just drop a message. That's again and again I'm stressing, because prelims ahead, it's highly important and crucial phase of your journey. So please be very sure about your preparation and stick to your timetable. Do follow, once again I'm saying, do follow consistently, rigorously, and attend all the sessions and make a note, and try to write one test series if possible, and revise all these important facts as many times as possible. Have a wonderful day, study well, all the best. Thank you so much.